Welcome back, Dota 2 fans. We've got Game 2, which is effectively Game 3 of this Best of 5 in your SLTV Pro Series Season 11 Grand Finals. I am MoreRagePlz, joined by none other than the wise and charming Mr. Blackadder. After that stomp in Game 1 by LC, what do you think that Scary Faces need to do to come back in this Grand Finals Best of 5 series?
Part of me thinks they need to rethink their drafting style up against London Conspiracy. London Conspiracy seemed to be there with an answer to everything that the Scary Faces had planned. And that's something you can't really do. You need to have some surprise or some air of a plan to counter the enemy in pretty much any kind of draft. It's one of the most important things you can do. You have to have an idea of what they're going to go with before they do it. The best kind of draft is one that you can predict in the case of a drafter. In this case, Scary Faces are going to ban out a Lycan and a Viper. You did say that London Conspiracy do run the Lycan, and they're going to pick up the Brewmaster. This is most likely going to be a mid-Brewmaster and give away a good amount of control the way of Scary Faces. But this does show Scary Faces' hand a bit. It's going to be a Brewmaster mid. I highly doubt it'll be a Brewmaster offlane, and now London Conspiracy know this part of the draft. So how do London Conspiracy answer, and how do you deal with a Brewmaster? Silences or rotations and ganks?
Yeah, definitely so. Perhaps an Aghanim's Death Ward is somewhat of a way to deal with that physical damage bouncing around through the Brewlings. But as you mentioned, is going to remove a little bit of variability from Scary Faces' draft, as their mid laner is pretty much set in stone at this point. The Brewmaster in the off lane, as you mentioned, fairly underwhelming. But LC going to opt right away for that Liquid Fire again with the Jakiro. So there will be some early pressure, and something you certainly mentioned in the first game was that Scary Faces a little bit too direct with their lineup. It was a little bit obvious what they needed to do with that Broodmother creating space, as well as banking on the Medusa transitioning into late game. But LC, keeping up the pressure in that one, was able to shut down both of those avenues for Scary Faces to take the game, and they'll go right back to their bread and butter with the Jakiro in game 2.
Well, this kind of repetitive style from London Conspiracy is something that can be countered if Scary Faces can deal with the push. But dealing with the push with the lineup they've drafted so far, I don't think is going to work all that well. Ancient Apparition, sure. You can throw an Ice Blast on a tower that's being pushed.
Right.
That's assuming the AA can get the levels. We've seen London Conspiracy rotate and adapt. We've seen them play very aggressive, and we've seen them have relentless aggression. That kind of thing will mean an AA won't get the time to get those levels. And AA isn't really a hero that can roam and gank that effectively, at least without, say, a Mirana and a Bane.
Yeah, I mean, before he picks up that level 6 on the AA, presuming they put this Jakiro once again in a core role, he'll probably have that max Liquid Fire before the AA has his level 6, and the Voodoo Restoration with even 2 points in it at a level 4 or so Witch Doctor will help with the sustain. Of course, the Ice Blast will mitigate that ability to heal up the lineup from LC, but it will come out later, as you already alluded to, and that's certainly something to be worried about for Scary Faces, especially considering last game, pretty much as they hit the level 7 on Madara's Jakiro at around the 9-minute mark, that cued a whole lot of pressure from them, and they were able to maintain it and bring down an early set of racks.
Well, speaking of banning out heroes that can push a bit here, London Conspiracy are going to ban out the Juggernaut, so that's going to take away the healing ward from Scary Faces and try to disable their teamfight control, and Juggernaut being one of the scarier carries in this patch. However, the flip side of the coin, Scary Faces are going to take away the Timbersaw from London Conspiracy, and we did see how much damage Relax could deal with that in the last one.
Yeah, definitely so, and certainly a very influential hero to LC's success as well. They're going to ban out the Bristleback once again, so perhaps something they're just not comfortable running against. It doesn't really seem that it's indicative of their draft so far. Bristleback isn't necessarily amazing versus either the AA nor the Brewmaster. Brewmaster deals with him fairly well. You can just Cyclone him up and leave him for last in most of these engagements, so a little bit of an interesting ban from Scary Faces, but that is something that they opted to ban out in game 1 as well. LC is going to pick up the puck for themselves in this one, and the Magical Burst as well as the Silence should offer a lot to deal with this Brewmaster before he's able to get that split off.
And the more they can do to really lock down that Brewmaster split, the better. Silences are the best way to deal with them. Skywrath Mage, one of the better ones if you can be on point with the Engine Seal, but Puck does fairly well himself. And if this is a mid Brewmaster versus Puck, I'm going to have to put my money on London Conspiracy.
Yeah, definitely so. It's the range advantage as well as the ability to phase shift that Thunderclap. Brewmaster should be able to find his farm, but Puck certainly will be able to zone him out from time to time, especially with an early bottle. Either way, the Brewmaster should be able to get levels up, so maybe a delayed Blink Dagger and the earlier one coming out for LC, but the split should be in tow in a relatively good timing window, but they are going to have to supplement their damage here from Scary Faces. Not too much there. Perhaps they go for the Ogre Magi for themselves, or something that this Ice Vortex is able to buff up in terms of the magic damage amplification. They are going to need some sort of roaming presence in this game, as they were pretty much relegated to their safe lane with their two supports all early game last game, and they were still able to pressure Quista's Medusa, and they put quite a wrench into the plans of Scary Faces' defensive try.
Well, for this game, I would be very happy to see Scary Faces draft the Mirana here. Mirana, Ancient Apparition works very well, and for that other support, they could pick up the Bane. That try combination is proven to work. Sure, it may not be as effective in 8-3, but it does do quite a bit of work up against, say, a Witch Doctor who's fairly squishy, or even a Puck if the Puck gets caught out by an arrow. But it seems we'll see the Rubik. Rubik is another good setup hero for the Mirana arrow, but not as good as the Bane with a Nightmare.
Yeah, perhaps somewhat of a pick deny as well. Don't want to give over that Rubik to LC, as Primal Split is fairly easy to steal. Brewmaster's usually not able to cast a clap right out of the spawn of that Primal Split, so that's a pretty reliable one, and they definitely chose to run it last game as well, and Skanks played fairly well on it. I mean, he didn't shine, but that was just because the Timber was so fat, and Madara was sitting as the battering ram on the high ground, constantly liquid fire spamming. We'll see the Bloodseeker band come out again from LC, and they'll pick up the Luna here as a one position. That's not something we've seen all that often, but it definitely does allow them to push once again.
I'm not too sure I like the Luna pickup. I mean, Luna has her big problems, mainly her short range, so she can be punished quite heavily by, say, a Brewmaster or even a Rubik Ancient Apparition. Also, the other deficit that she has is her starting health pool is very low.
Yeah, that is super unfortunate for LC. Eclipse also pretty stealable here, but going to be a little bit interesting to see what they're able to do with that Luna pickup. They do have the sustain ability offered by that Voodoo Restoration, but the Broodmother going to be picked up once again for Scary Faces, so they haven't been quite discouraged enough for Shadow Ace Brood in this second game.
I understand the Brood pick. I understand the logic behind it. They want to try to get early towers, and they want to try to at least force sun kills early. Scary Faces, specifically Shadower, proven that he can do that against the Jakiro in game number 1. But when 5-man Dota started, London Conspiracy just barreled down lanes, and Broodmother couldn't do anything to stop it. Hell, the entire lineup currently of Scary Faces cannot stop it. Scary Faces need something in their final pick here that has to be a hard carry, unfortunately, that can fight early enough to stop 5-man Dota, considering we look at 5-man Dota for London Conspiracy right now. Voodoo Restoration, Cask, brilliant. Jakiro, Ice Path, pretty much everything Jakiro has. Puck, do I really need to say anything else? Luna, the Aura. That Aura is going to do an ungodly amount in terms of pushing power.
Yeah, certainly so. So LC definitely have honed their strategy here once again, and the Puck will be able to offer them some space creation as well as some initiation, so they can find some pickoffs and translate that into a push. But as you mentioned, definitely a very potent lineup once again. I do worry for Shadow A's ability to drag or allure commitment over to his lane. LC may just look to push elsewhere and probably will find some momentum. We saw them gain or accrue quite a bit of a gold advantage last game off of those early towers.
If those early towers happen again, this might be all over for Scary Faces. I'm not going to count any team out early, but in this case, I look at the draft of London Conspiracy right now. A Dragonite to finish it off. Dragonite, mid lane, Luna, safe lane, Puck, off lane. This is scary. This is downright scary.
Yeah, certainly so. I'm gonna, the quality of the calls dropping, I'm gonna just recall you really quick, and hopefully that'll fix the issues. Just give me a quick second. Do I have you?
you appear to. How does the call sound?
Yeah, sounds a lot better from my side, so hopefully that'll rectify any of those issues. Very interesting pickup from LC. They're going to have the Dragon Knight here, so definitely does supplement their ability to push as well, but not something we've seen all that often. And Scary Faces rounding their lineup out with a Gyrocopter.
I like the gyro. The gyro can do a lot with the rocket barrage. He can force the homing missile to be dealt with. If the homing missile connects, it does a lot of damage in his badge. More importantly, his ultimate, the buffs to that, fairly nice. And this is all going to come down to can Scary Faces weather the mid game. But we're seeing mass TPs into the mid lane from London Conspiracy. Is this a Roshan?
It could certainly be a level Roshan with the Lunar Blessing
there's a Bassi.
skilled up.
There's a Bassi.
Yeah, so they do have the Voodoo Restoration as well at level 1. I guess they will use the Dragon Blood to tank it up for Keezer. They also have the Liquid Fire. Very cheeky play from them in these grand finals already. They have 2 games with that winner bracket advantage. Keezer is taking this up. They are bringing it down fairly slowly, but with the Voodoo Restoration, they should be able to bring it down in due time. They will swap off onto Madara, and he will have to tank it up on the Luna. They're going to salve up Keezer. He'll probably walk right back into this. About 60% is the Roshan. It doesn't seem like Scary Faces is privy to this fact at all. They've gone right into their lanes. Shadowway all the way up in the off lane. State 21 looking to block up his lane, and with this dire vision here, they should find this Roshan fairly easily, and that's going to accrue a huge early advantage for LC.
Yeah, I don't see this one being scouted or stopped at all. This is a pretty damn big lead. Then again, pings come out. Did Scary Faces just catch that? Rubik was wise to it, but I'm not seeing any rotations from the team to try to stop this. It's too late anyway. The Aegis, level 1 Roshan, the way of London Conspiracy.
And the GLHF comes out after the Roshan. What a show of sportsmanship from Spartan. But either way, they're going to walk to lane with level 2 on most of their heroes and almost level 3 on quite a few of them as well. So this is looking very scary. Already 2 games down for Scary Faces.
I do love the mass TP when you're the dire side. It's almost impossible to predict or stop when you're Radiant. It's Shades of Alliance, and well, just little things like that is what I love about Dota. Strategies that you can't predict or don't see coming.
Yeah, definitely so. They're going to amass towards this defensive tri-lane for LC, and that should be able to secure quite a bit of farm for their Luna. Relax should be more than survivable in this bottom lane. They don't have too much lockdown to deal with him. Only the telekinesis from Eknard as well as the homing missile if it's able to land. But he'll find first blood with that illusory orb and one last right click onto a bash. So a bash with his chilling touch, a little bit too much hubris there, and he'll be punished by Relax. Already first blood and a Roshan found by London Conspiracy in this game 3.
This is quite the early start here, and the cold advantage and level advantage from Roshan, it's just going to all snowball out of control for this puck, considering the first blood as well. He's got 800 gold near enough. He's now going to just trade hits with a bash. This is how aggressive you can be with a puck. The orb's there. Telekinesis is going to might bring Relax down, but no, he's going to orb into the jungle. Should be safe. There's no way for them to catch up, and this should be quite the early bit of aggression from Relax. He's going to salve up, and I expect him to rotate back in. He has that kind of power.
Yeah,
here we go.
Definitely
rotation back in, he's got the orb ready to go, and all it'll take is a little bit of damage onto Ekna. He's going to grab the creep wave as well, take that CS. This is just really painful for the supports.
Yeah, that early extra level on Relax, allowing him to have the orb as well as the phase shift, makes him super elusive and very potent in the terms of his magic burst. He'll probably find very close to his level 4 off of this creep as well, and Keezer in the mid is farming pretty poorly against the Brewmaster. He does do very well in a melee matchup, but already with that level 4 in tow for the DK, he'll do just fine to pick up that Elder Dragon form fairly soon, and they will be able to cue the push off the back of Majara's Skanks' levels as well, I should say.
Oh, with the rotation around, Shadower top lane. Shadower, he is not going to have a very fun time up against these supports if they know what was happening here, but they don't actually realize the hard camp's being done by Shadower. I suppose this is an easy way for the Brood to acquire some gold, but it's not really what the Brood wants. The Brood wants really more than this, and he runs straight into Spartan, but the cast's going to bounce around, but these Spiderlings might be able to bring him down. No, there's the Voodoo Restoration. That's going to pretty much cancel out any aggression that Shadower was trying to do, and, well, back to square one for Shadow, and he's even going to take a breathe fire. This could be quite nasty. Liquid fire as well, going to start ticking down the spider, and, well, Brood has to run. Brood just cannot stay here.
Yeah, he's only got one web left, and he's not willing to use it so far out of lane, so Skank's going to zone him out fairly far, and this is going to give some space over to the Madara Luna if he didn't have it already. Relax is going to duel up with Eknart bottom lane. He will take a Fade Bolt, but going to throw out an Illusory Orb and probably look to back here and regen up with that bottle.
Oh, now he's got that bottle. That's going to be all the more nicer, but flip side of the coin, we do now have a Soul Ring available for the Brood even. I almost said Brewmaster, but Brood having a Soul Ring, that's going to mean some good harass. Speaking of the Brewmother, I hate it when
now they're in the same game.
Yeah, this is what I hate. It's like Nyx and Nakes in one game. It's a nightmare. Brood and Brew is just one you don't generally see in the same game. State 21, he's going to at least trade with Kaiser quite nicely. He has 23 and 5 lasters up against 21 and 0 of the Dragon Knight. And if Dragon Knight can at least pull even, it's all well and good for the DK.
Yeah, he's taking quite a bit of harass with the spam of that Thunderclap, but Kaiser should be just fine. He's brought out his bottle as well now. So Spartan will secure this top haste rune for him, and that's a really nice rune for the Dragon Knight, able to get him in melee range for that Dragon Tail. But we'll see if he looks to make a rotation off this. He does find his level 6 now. He's going to instantly pop the haste and look to put some pressure on this mid tier 1. State 21 will be here though, and is going to find a level 6 of his own promptly hereafter.
Well, if he can get that level 6 online, get that primal split, he might even be able to bring down the DK as soon as that haste rune runs out. But still, things to keep in mind, that corrosive skin is starting, corrosive breath even, is starting to tick down that tier 1 in the mid lane. So we could see a rotation from the London Conspiracy side to force the tier 1 in the mid, but we might equally be seeing that on the top lane. Yes, we do have the pressure coming out of London Conspiracy. They want to shred these towers. They're being push heavy again, and it's paying off in this series.
Yeah, in the bot lane, they're not finding any aggression onto the puck. Those early levels proving so pivotal for Relax to find his survivability in this lane. He's already found his level 5 boots and bottle. He may even find a rotation towards the mid to help out Kaiser with this tower, as State 21 has had to rotate back to base, and already we do see half of that tier 1, as you mentioned, being chopped down by the defensive trio of LC.
That kind of power is just what London Conspiracy seem to be forcing within every game I've seen of them so far. Well, it seems London Conspiracy, they're just going to reset and go again on this top lane. They have the health and the mana necessary, especially with the combination of the Witch Doctor, but in comes the damage onto Shadow, and he should pull that Maledict there. He does turn around and get one more Spawn Spiderlings off. In comes the rotations from the Rubik as well as the TP in from the Ancient Apparition, but I don't think they're going to be able to get anything here. The Spiderlings are continuing to harass Skanks, but he's being healed up by the Voodoo Restoration and the Salve, and that should keep him well enough alive and healthy.
Yeah, meanwhile, State 21 finds a solo kill on the Dragon Knight, so that'll give him some good mid-game momentum. Majara from the high ground, though, is going to pop the Eclipse, and State 21 getting very low. He'll pop a clap, though. The Drunken Brawler may be able to allow him to man up, and he does, and this will be a double kill for State 21 if he can chase down Majara, but with the treads and the 380 move speed of that Luna, she'll be able to throw another Lunar Eclipse. Coil will be committed from Relax. A few more right clicks, one going to get dodged, but will bring down the Brewmaster. Meanwhile, Skanks being chased down by Shadow in the top lane, but he's not going to be able to find that Jakiro as much as he did in game 1.
If Skanks can just survive, he's going to be well enough safe, and he's getting the levels as well. He's got points coming up in the Liquid Fire, and when that Liquid Fire gets level 3, if not level 4, I can predict some very unpleasant times coming for Scary Faces. But, oh, in comes the Brood with those Spiderlings, wants to try and just force back the Jakiro, and will successfully do so. Might even find some damage on the tier 1 here, but we do get TP responses coming in. Witch Doctor's here, as well as the Luna.
Yeah, it looks like Kaiser has put the tier 1 into deny range in the mid, but the Siege is going to take it down. Big misplay from State 21, and Eknart not able to deny that off, and the influx of gold will go the way of the Dire. Meanwhile, the Spiderlings top are trying to kick down Spartan, and they will be able to do so. Shadowway starting to become a menace on this Broodmother. The Chilling Touch right clicks are there as well from a bash. He'll get a double kill going the way of the Broodmother, and things finally starting to look up for Scary Faces. 3-3 is your score despite this early Roshan advantage for LC.
which is quite surprising actually. The level advantage I thought would be more of a factor, but Shadow, he has just found the levels he needs. He's already got his level 7. That's going to be max spawn spiderlings, I should think, and this is going to be quite nasty for London Conspiracy to fight up against, especially with the Chilling Touch. We saw how much damage per right click was being done by Shadow, and that's without insatiable hunger.
Yeah, definitely so, and he's got 1,550 gold in tow as well. The Spiderling's doing so much damage to Relax. He only has a phase shift, no mana for the Illusory Orb. One more right click will bring him down. Shadowway already finding a killing spree on this Broodmother. He can pick up a full Midas now if he wishes to do so. Perhaps he builds into that Orchid. Pretty good against the Puck, as much as it was against the Timbersaw in this one.
I would hope for a very early Orchid, maybe pick up the Brown Boots and the first Oblivion Staff. That would at least make the most sense to me. But I don't like the idea of a Midas in this game. Midas would mean you're banking to go more late game, mid to late game, whereas you want to be forcing your early fight as much as you can against London Conspiracy. Speaking of early fight, that's going to be 2 easy kills the way of Scary Faces off the back of the cooldown on the bot lane, and Kaiser going to be chased as well. That Dragon Knight could be in a lot of trouble should they be able to catch up to him. And I also hear a Rocket chasing someone else. No, it must have gone off. I don't know. I heard a Rocket, but can't see it.
Yeah, it looks like it may be chasing Madara, who TP'd back to base, so eventually it will get there. And it does land on the Jakiro in the mid lane, but yeah, either way, a nice couple of kills going the way of Scary Faces. Their Tricore has now surmounted the net worth chart entirely ahead of everyone on LC, and they haven't been able to find any momentum with this Dragon Knight out of the mid lane. He's pretty much having to use his Elder Dragon forms just to push towers, and they haven't found any 5-man engagements off of it.
But that's the one thing with Dragon Knight, he needs a bit of time to take off. He isn't an early game hero per se, unless you've got a full 5-man push backing it up. That's not the case with London Conspiracy right now. They need more time for Kaiser on that Dragon Knight. If he can finish up getting, I don't know, maybe Drum, maybe BKB, he can then fight a lot easier.
Right.
But the most important thing for a DK is level 16. Frost Dragon Breath. It's insane now. It does the dot of the green dragon form. It has the splash of the red dragon form and effectively a free Skadi slow.
Yeah, it is a very nice ability to get up. Meanwhile, they will take down the killing spree of the Broodmother in the top lane, and that kill will go the way of Spartan on the Witch Doctor, so he won't be able to find too much item progression off that, as he's pretty poor sitting in the hard 5 position. Madara gonna need a little bit more farm with the Liquid Fire, but hasn't been able to accrue much either. Actually, all 4 supports in the game fairly poor at this point. Either way, a nice little influx of gold going the Witch Doctor's way, and he's picked up his Death Ward now as well.
With Death Ward online, it does certainly get a bit harder for the Scary Faces, but they can still deal with it if we get that Orchid. But we do have a Midas being the choice for Shadowway in this case, but more important items are coming online. We've got that Blink Dagger in the hands of Relax.
Yeah, this will allow Shadowway to gain somewhat of a level advantage and keep his economy going. So maybe he becomes a little bit more of a menace in this one than he was in game 1. They have brought down that tier 1 in the Dire safe lane. And jump forward, bottom lane, Snake 21, clap, split. He's going to dodge the cask as well. He'll get a boulder toss into Keezer, but he's pretty tanky on this Dragon Knight. Ice Blast is going to land, though, onto 2. And Keezer catches a call down as well. He's going to drop fairly low. He may even shatter, and he will kill going the way of a bash as well. Relax is going to tick down here. Skank's getting very low, however. Clap is going to finish him off. That's already 3-0. Going the way of Scary Faces. Quista able to rotate down to the south fairly low, but he'll salve up here, and they should be able to translate this into an easy tier 1 push despite the glyph being available for LC.
Yes, quite an avalanche of kills going the way of Scary Faces, and this shows they can still fight. They are by no means out of it yet, even with 2-game deficit. Well, Spartan reveals that he's there, and this is a bit of a mistake by him. I'm not sure what he was trying to accomplish, and, well, other than death, he might go down to, note, the Ice Blast will miss, but a couple more right clicks coming out of State 21 will seal the deal instead.
A little bit of a questionable Death Ward as he goes down, although not the biggest cooldown, only 80 seconds right now. But Shadowway still putting some momentum into this top lane, as bot lane, there's an engagement here. Call down is going to be dropped. And they will jaunt forward, though, and that will pay dearly for the puck for the LC. Eknard able to salve up as well, and things getting out of control now for Scary Faces. They've accrued a 5k net worth lead and 3k generated in the way of experience.
It really feels like London Conspiracy are throwing away this game a bit. They are trying to be overzealous in terms of their push to begin with. Then they lose the team fight and they try to be overzealous in getting some return kills, mainly from Relax here on the park. And he pays for it with his life. That's pretty damn big to be giving away a puck like that. 11-5. It's by no means unrecoverable, but still a 5k gold lead this early for Scary Faces. Talk about a flip side of the coin from game one.
Yeah, and it looks like Scary Faces are content to continue to widen this net worth gap. They're looking to pick up a Midas on a Bash as well. Of course, Midas on AA, certainly understandable. Shadow A's picked up one of his own. He's got 2,900 gold in the bank as well, and his Spiderlings will be able to scout out perhaps Spartan and Skanks. He will throw a spawn Spiderlings and walk back into the tree line. There is a dust from Spartan, but he's taking so much damage from these Spiderlings, and there will have to be a jump in Waning Rift Illusory Orb to clean them up from Relax.
Even investment of a dust there to try to randomly catch the Brood, which didn't hit either. So really a sore place for London Conspiracy to be fighting from. And this is without even mentioning the 3,000 gold on Brood. What is he saving money for? Because I thought we'd see an Orchid. He's surely not going for a Radiance, is he? Speaking of that, mid lane, we do have a bit of a fight breaking out. Kaiser in a lot of trouble. Could go down. They do lose the Rubik on the lineup of Scary Faces, but if there's no way for this Dragonite to get out, that's going to be very sore. He will take a fall, most likely, to the Pandas here, but no, he manages to survive, and he's bottling up. There now comes the turnaround potential. They catch the Brewmaster. He's not going to be able to escape this one, but call down to answer this. It's going to catch on everyone. In comes the Eclipse, though, to ensure the kill and make sure the Gyrocopter cannot rotate in to do his maximum damage. So it's going to be an easy kill set for London Conspiracy. They catch the Rubik and the Brew. Brew.
Yeah, nice 2-0 for them there. The Voodoo Restoration able to keep up the Dragonite until that Fire Bruling was brought down by the Luna, and therefore it wasn't able to finally tick out that DK. So unfortunate there for State 21. He probably should have cycloned up the Doctor as opposed to the DK there, but either way, nice 2-0 going LC's way. A little bit of a comeback beginning for them, but a Bash on the AA has found his level 9, and meanwhile bottom, they're going to go in with this Ice Blast. It is going to be dodged, however, by Relax. Nice stick up by Eknart will keep him alive for the time being. Actually, the Ice Blast did land, and Relax getting fairly low, but he will dodge out that Chilling Touch attack and should be just fine. State 21 is there to slow him down with the Drunken Haze, but he'll be able to jaunt to the north, and Relax going to be just fine, but doesn't find a kill on Eknart's Rubik.
If any of those attacks did not get disjointed by Relax on that puck, that would have been an easy shatter, but very good play coming out of him, and that's going to buy him the time necessary. Speaking of things, Madara in that mid lane, I'm actually surprised by his skill build here, item build mainly. If we look at it, he's gone for the Mask of Madness into a Yasha. Normally we would see a Helm of the Dominator on a Luna, but a Mask of Madness? This one is a bit interesting.
Yeah, it looks to accelerate her farm, I guess. Perhaps bring down those Brewlings a little bit quicker, but she is fairly squishy early on and does rely on her magic damage. So, yeah, bringing out this heavy right-click, especially with the double-edged sword that it is increasing or amplifying the damage taken, is pretty risky play. She does have that casual Yasha as well and can look to put her treads towards strength, but still fairly squishy on this Luna, so we'll see how this pans out for her. Probably will opt for a BKB after this casual Yasha. Don't know if she'll opt to clean up or finish up that Manta. Meanwhile, top lane, Coil has caught out Shadow A, and he has been dusted up. He'll catch an Ice Path as well as a Dragon Tail. Should look to fall here. He looks to, or seems to have bought out, however, and does have Necrobook level 2 up on the Courier.
Yeah, and then we get the mid lane TP in. They're looking to try to defend their mids, and this is perfectly correct choice here by London Conspiracy. They need something, but Ice Path does come, Blast does come in long range, trying to catch anyone, but they can't quite do it. But they do go for the Brewmaster initiation. State 21 will get that Panda split off. Cooldown wasted as well, not going to land on anyone, but they do catch Kaiser with that telekinesis. He's going to try to get the counterspell onto Eknar, and Quista also put out. This is not the place you want your Gyrocopter to be, and we'll go down to the Lucian Beam of the Luna. Now we only have the Brewmaster really still being a problem in this mid lane, and he gets caught by the Ice Path at the end of the duration, and he could take a fall himself as Madara continues to charge forward and manages to clean up the Ancient Apparition. And there comes the Eclipse. Massive triple kill going the way for Madara, and this Luna is certainly starting to become quite the force to deal with. A full Manta now completed even on him.
Yeah, and Madara was able to flank the AA on the backside, solo kill going her way. She even held on to the Eclipse there to bring down State 21, and all of a sudden, LC clawing their way back into this one. They've accrued a 2,000 experience lead and brought the gold lead that was generated by Scary Faces down to only 2,500. They will look to take perhaps their second Roche of the game here, but doesn't look like they're rotating in the Jakiro quite yet. However, Spartan is rotating over with that Voodoo Restoration. Ice Blast, though, gonna scout things out, not gonna land on anyone, so good discipline and awareness from LC there to dodge that.
I believe that the targeting reticule was seen by the Sentry Ward there, so not going to be an easy catch for the Ancient Apparition.
Yeah, so good diligence in terms of the vision there. Third Midas of the game picked up now. That'll be actually the fourth Midas. The Brewmaster on State 21 has picked one up, and that'll be Relax picking one up for the puck here. So everyone gearing up for this late game, but not sure who quite has the advantage. LC's lineup looks pretty good, but if the gyro gets big enough, there is a Tricore over on the side of Scary Faces in the Brood, Brew, and Gyro.
Say that quickly, I dare you.
So Keys are going to farm up top lane, and it looks like Shadow A will back off.
I'm personally wondering where we're going to see the next kind of fight, because Land of Conspiracy, sure, they do have that late game potential of a Luna, if she can get, say, the Butterfly, and most importantly, a BKB.
Right.
But I wonder if we're going to see many more early fights, because Land of Conspiracy have that early game style that they can run with. They also have the power of, say, Death Ward still to use. I mean, it's a level 1 Death Ward still, but Spartan can do quite a bit of damage with that, especially when it's backed up by the control of, say, a Dragon Knight's Dragon Tail, Cask, Ice Path, the works. Hell, the best one would probably be the Dream Coil, but all it will take is a good bit of positioning and maybe forcing the tier 1 on the top lane or the tier 1 on the bottom lane. I think London Conspiracy could fight right now.
Yeah, they definitely do have the control to warrant an impactful Death Ward with the Dream Coil as well as the Dragon Tail and the Ice Path, as you mentioned. Speaking of team fight, though, Quista's going to finish off his full BKB, and as the courier rotates back to the base, he will be able to ferry that out to him. That'll be a very nice pickup for Scary Face's lineup. Perhaps he's able to get off a full level 4 flat cannon in one of these engagements, and if he's able to do so, a lot of these squishier heroes from LC should drop fairly low.
A good set of flat cannon damage coming out of Quista could, of course, turn a fight in their favour. It would take possibly a bit more than what he's got now. I should think maybe a Manta. MKB would be glorious on him as well. But with the BKB, he can certainly look to survive a bit more in these engagements, dodging, most importantly, that Eclipse.
Yeah, and MKB should be a pretty popular choice for him. Very good item on the Gyro as well. The Luna probably going to opt for a Butterfly at some point in this game, especially considering all the Midases. We probably will see this one transition into a late game. Either way, Spartan, not much to speak of in terms of the item progression, and for LC, there isn't much elsewhere. There has been the Mithril Hammer pickup on Madara, and the Shadow Blade now gotten for Keezer. However, top lane, Death Ward, Dream Coil, Waning Rift is there as well. Call Down's going to be here, and it's going to land on Relax. However, he's going to get telekinesed up and blown up to that rocket barrage. Quista trying to get some flat cannon to pop on Spartan, but the Voodoo Restoration will keep him up for the time being. He's going to try to TP out, and 2 more right clicks will finish him off. Eknard actually going to find that with the Fade Bolt. Shadow Blade just a little too survivable for that duo there of the Puck Witch Doctor, and they will both pay for their aggression.
If the Maledict had landed on Shadowway before the Death Ward, then I reckon that Shadowway would have actually gone down there, and that could have been worth it in favour of the trade. But losing the Puck and the Witch Doctor for nothing, and losing the Tier 2, that's pretty damn huge. This could be a Tier 3 high ground attempt here by the Scary Faces as well, and this needs to be answered. Then again, take a look at Madara, and where's he? He's at the enemy Tier 3 in the mid, and if he's getting a lot of damage on this as well.
Yeah, completely unabated in this mid lane. Popping the Mask of Madness. The Call Down is here. He will be able to run out of the periphery of that, and with that Mask of Madness, he's able to extricate himself from any danger. The homing missile is following him, but probably will hit him a little bit too far out of range, unless State 21 is able to flank him with a Blink Clap here. He does pick up an Invis, however, and that will back off any aggression. Quista is here, no detection available to him. He'll pick up a Bounty Rune, but she gets quite a bit of work done on that Tier 3, and only about 550 damage done by the Dire, and almost a full Tier 3 taken down by Madara's Luna.
Yeah, it's quite the differential right there. Generally, I would expect more of a Brood, but we do have the build of a Midas into a Tier 3 Necro. So Necrobook going to help out in terms of pushing towers, certainly, but not really in these team fights. Sure, if the Luna kills off one of them with, say, the glaive bounce, that could be nice, but as far as I'm concerned, I would still prefer an Orchid.
Yeah, definitely so.
But now we do have that BKB to counter out from Luna.
Yeah, definitely so. Still, the Orchid would be very good versus the Puck. Puck opted for a Midas here, so perhaps looks to build into a Yule Scepter next. Maybe Dagon is the choice as well. Eknart, pretty squishy. Shadowway, probably not going to have a BKB anytime soon. Only 1500 HP on the Brood. But Skanks as well as Madara going to rotate in to the Roche Pit, and they should be able to bring this down fairly quickly with the Liquid Fire slowing his attack. However, there may be a big engagement brewing top lane. No pun intended. State 21 going to be in the front lines. Shadowway going to look to scout out Relax here. He does have the blink available. Jump forward, Primal Split, not even needed a clap here. They will be able to throw the Boulder Toss out, but they'll Cyclone up Keezer for now. Call down, gonna land at least once, in the Rocket Barrage finishing off the Dragon Knight. Eknart looking to find some more on the Rubik, but Relax should be able to phase shift and jaunt out of here. Meanwhile, the Roshan brought down by LC. So a Dragon Knight for a Roshan kill. Not the biggest loss for LC there.
No, it's not, but they may decide to try to high ground this, considering they do have a good number of Spiderlings on Shadow. No, it seems everyone's going to back off. I thought they may try to, considering Eknart for a few more seconds does have the Death Ward stolen, just lost it now. But it's an okay fight, I suppose, unless they lose their Gyrocopter here. Yes, they will, to the combination of Spartan and Madara. Being able to catch that Gyro out of position is such a huge thing. Thing is, in comes State 21 trying to get some answer, but he doesn't have Primal Split anymore. This could be such a horrible misstep from him, but he does have that hasten, buy him some time, does put the mischance up onto the Luna, which is why I reckon we'll see an MKB, but on the flip side of the coin, they'll lose the Witch Doctor support to the rotating Broodmother as well as the Ancient Apparition, but now we've got a long-range Ice Blast coming in. If this connects, that's going to be huge, but no, Madara is just too damn fast with that last madness.
Yeah, that Ice Blast connects. It's going to do amplified damage because of the mask, and it may even get her into shatter range. But either way, mid lane, Abash is going to be brought down here by Keezer. He will be able to perhaps back off, but the incapacitating bite slowing him down. He's going to pop Elder Dragon Form and look to turn this BKB. Pop my Madara. Eclipse already used on Quista, but the Lucent Beam will finish off Eknard. And not sure if it's worth the BKB charge, as everyone does back from Scary Faces, but with no buybacks on both the supports for Scary Faces, they can look to go high ground, and they do have this Elder Dragon form popped from Keezer for the next little while.
I reckon we could be looking at a high ground attempt, certainly. I mean, the worst threat they have to deal with right now is Quista, considering if we look at Shadow, he has gone for this kind of push style, and it's not the best for defending structures.
Yeah, definitely so. Quista, a little bit stingy earlier on. He took about 4 hits from that Eclipse as well as a Lucent Beam, and he didn't pop his BKB for any of it. So going down behind that cliff, behind his tier 2, a little bit questionable from him, but either way, still doing fairly well in terms of the net worth. The Tricore is all below Madara, but ahead of anyone else for LC. However, the Luna gaining quite a bit of momentum, 3,300 gold in the bank, as well as the full Manta, BKB, and Mask of Madness.
I'd hope to see a pickup of a Demon Age right here. We've seen how annoying it is for Madara with, say, the Drunken Haze being thrown on her. So being able to deal with that mischance is such an important thing.
Yeah, mid lane, Ice Path goes out onto State 21. He's going to have to pop his split here a little bit defensively. Shadowway is going to rotate in. Takes a lot of damage from that Death Ward, but the channel will expire for now. Ice Path will be there to allow Relax to back up, and Madara burning through these Brewlings, and they will have to back off, and that's a Primal Split committed. So perhaps LC, with this Aegis still available for 2 minutes, do sound the high ground push off that.
I reckon that might be the order of business, considering they've got the Aegis, they've got the Eclipse, they just need to find a good fight. And Madara is just continuing just to maintain a massive net worth lead. Hell, he's just rotating into the jungle to try to steal whatever's left, but unbeknownst to him, there is nothing left in the jungle. It has been farmed out by the Scary Faces.
Yeah, unfortunately for Madara, he doesn't find any fruit in that jungle. Either way, he's going to push out this bot lane, and by the time that all occurs, Primal Split probably will be off of cooldown, so perhaps they look to find this a tier 2. That'll be the second to last of the outer tier towers for Scary Faces, and not sure that they can mount a defense without that primal split, but they will walk up the mid lane, perhaps looking for this tier 1, which is fairly low on the side of LC.
Well, if they get the 2-1, that'll certainly be one thing, but this is a Frost Dragon form now. That's a big problem to deal with. Frost Dragon form, just this free Skadi effectively. Then again, here comes the counter. In comes Quista looking for whatever he can. He does murder the Witch Doctor, but now on the back lines, you've got Kaiser trying to do what he can. He manages to try to bring the Brewmaster low, but now in comes the Puck, as well as the Luna and Madara. This is going to be oh so unpleasant if Quista falls. He's taking a lot of damage. He's surviving for now, but there is no Eclipse currently. He just doesn't have enough mana for it. He has the cooldown, but not the mana. He needs to either get some Arcane Boots from somewhere or die and trigger the Aegis. But you've still got the Brood Mother causing all manner of havoc, and Quista trying to hide in the tree line. Will eventually go down to the Jakiro with one last liquid fire, and now they're trying to surround Madara. Bringing down Madara might be a double-edged sword thinking about it, but they're managing to do so for now. But you've still got the Puck here, and Eclipse ready to go. I reckon we might see that Eclipse pop immediately, as well as the BKB. There's the Eclipse, doing some good damage to no heroes, though.
Yeah, unfortunately BKB off of on cooldown there for the Luna. She'll drop and relax, not willing to re-engage with her. The Puck will be able to remove himself from any peril, but either way, a nice return for Scary Faces. They may even find Spartan in the mid lane. Not sure what the hell he was doing that far forward. He'll also give over the cask to Eknart, but they do lose Quista in that engagement. Also, his 10-second BKB popped a little bit early to find that Witch Doctor kill, and they find him. But either way, favorable engagement for Scary Faces. They did force out a buyback, however, on Abash's Ancient Apparition.
Yeah, they needed that Ancient Apparition there for the Ice Blast, but I think the most important thing there for the SFZ's lineup was they killed the Luna and didn't lose anything in exchange after that Aegis had popped. Just being surrounded by spiders, by necro units, it was just such a good thing for them. Even considering they lost the Ancient Apparition to a buyback. But on the flip side of the coin for the London Conspiracy lineup, I'm not sure why we had the overextension and overstay of Spartan's Welcome.
Yeah, certainly so. Perhaps a little bit cocky with the advantage that Luna has gotten, but either way, she's going to pick up 2 components of her Butterfly. Only needs the Eagle Song, and she is only about 700 gold away from that. So farming up this Ancient stack here, it is a dual stack, maybe even able to stack it the 3rd time here, or get out of the camp in time for that 3rd spawn. That should give her more than enough economy to be very close, if not there, for this Eagle Song. She will rotate outwards, and it will spawn up the next time as well. Roshan not up for a little while. Minimum spawn is about 1 minute and 20 seconds away.
If it's a short Roshan, we could easily see a rotation to Rosh and then push into the mid lane, considering we now have that Butterfly. And a Butterfly and the Luna on the back of, say, a Mask of Madness and a Manta, this is going to be a scary level of right-click. And without an MKB to counter the evasion, which currently there isn't one, considering Quista opted for a Sanjin Yasha and a BKB, this could be the opening that London Conspiracy need.
Yeah, State 21 picking up the AC for his team as well. Call down on the high ground is going to proc over the Eul Scepter, but the phase shift is there, and the blink out does come to the low ground from Relax, so good synergy of abilities there, dodging away the call down, but not a big cooldown to be worried about for Quista. That'll be up before the next team engagement. Manta style illusions are putting a little bit of chip damage into this tier 2, but not sure that LC is willing to fully commit to it. They will jump Madara into the front lines, and with this blink on Relax as well as the Euls, doesn't look like Scary Face is looking to go headlong into that one. But meanwhile, top lane, Geezer is looking to rotate out, blink forward from State 21. He won't get in range for a Drunken Haze, and it doesn't look like they're privy to the fact that Skanks is hiding in the trees here, but he doesn't have a TP to get out of this one quite yet.
No, but he should be more than enough safe. You've got State 21 TPing away to try to defend this tier 3 push coming out of the rest of the London Conspiracy lineup, but Madara's going to TP out, and it seems they're just going to reset and go again. And I'm going to be keeping my eye on the Roshan. The spawn timer is 2 minutes away. So it's a relatively long respawn, the 10-minute mark on that one. So with any luck, I should expect to see London Conspiracy wait for Roshan before they go for the next big tier 3 push. However, they might decide to force this tier 2 before that, Roshan certainly.
Yeah, definitely so. Full BKB, also 10 seconds picked up for Shadowway here, so that was the next item of choice for the Brood. Will be a little bit less susceptible to that Eclipse, albeit he has been able to spread that Eclipse through his Spiderlings more often than not, so perhaps a little bit more of a damage-oriented item or something utility like an Orchid would have been more warranted in this situation. Either way, the Euls is there now from Relax to dispel that Orchid, so therefore not as effective as it once would be.
Well, I'm personally wondering what else we're going to see item-wise come up in favor of London Conspiracy right now, since we've got nothing more on Spartan at this point. For the Jakiro, I don't see a Veil of Discord, which would help out considerably, considering their lineup. Look how much magical damage they have. And the other option I could see going for the Jakiro is possibly the Sheepstick, but he's not going to be getting money for that in any foreseeable future. Then we look to the Puck, who's gone for Midas, Boots of Travel. He's got a Yules, he's got a Blink Dagger, 2.7k gold in the bank. That looks to be like Scythe of Ice money to me.
Yeah, definitely so. Should be the next item for the Puck. Would offer a lot of utility up against Scary Faces. No BKB on State 21. If they're able to hex him up and bring him down before the split, that'll bode very well for their ability to take a convincing engagement, albeit State 21 has picked up an AC, but top lane, he's going to get Yules up. Ice Path will be there as well. There's a Dragon Tail to follow. Waning Rift should be chained over that, and State 21 going to drop before he's able to get off the split, and the smoked up lineup of Scary Faces not willing to re-engage after the death of their Brewmaster. Blink forward from Relax. He's going to get a Yules up onto the Broodmother. The coil is there onto 2. It was stolen by Eknar, but he's going to pay for his troubles. He will drop here first. And Quista looking to back off now with the BKB pop by Keezer. He'll be just fine. They should be able to find this tier 2 with relative ease. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Shadowway looking to chase down Spartan here with his wave, and for some reason he canceled the Death Ward and is going to fall either way. BKB popped as well from Shadowway. That's a little bit late, but either way, they bring down the tier 2 for LC in the Radiant off lane, and State 21 is still down for 40 seconds without buyback, but without Madara with the group, it doesn't look like they're willing to push high ground.
Well, they did push high ground. Take a look in the mid lane. They took the full tier 3 and racks. That's what Madara was doing that entire time. It was a distraction ploy coming out from the London Conspiracy. Everyone was fighting top, so I was like, yep, I'm going to help myself to a free mid lane. And there was no way to stop it either.
And that's a full Butterfly and MKB picked up for Madara. Now 23,000 in the way of net worth, 8k ahead of the next closest contender, which is Quista's Gyrocopter. And things getting very scary with still 300 gold needed for that last Javelin and no buyback available if he does purchase it up for Quista. Things looking very scary against this Butterfly Madara Luna. And he's already soloed Roche down to 3/4 health, but perhaps is a little bit worried about the rotations in from Scary Faces, and wisely so.
Yeah, already you have the presence of Shadow. If the Scary Faces can get this Roshan, I honestly don't think it's going to matter all that much, considering the force coming out of London Conspiracy, and Eknar in a bad way. He will burn down, and now you've got the Primal Split there, trying to buy some time for the lineup of Scary Faces to take the Roshan, but just look at this. You've got the BKB Luna, just tears through the Split Panda. Now they're going to find Shadower. He's going to have to try to scurry away for his life, and I don't see the Spider surviving this one. Will be cleaned up there by Relax, and you still have the Gyrocopter around. He's going to be throwing the rocket at Madara just to buy some time, and I think it's going to be a case of let's finish off the Roshan and go for another tier 3 in racks, I think, considering Roshan half health.
Yeah, they're actually going to look to push the bot lane a little bit questionably. Definitely would have liked them to pick up that second life there, but Madara essentially 6-slotted, can replace the boots with bots and maybe the mom with a better item. So they will look to go high ground. There is no buyback available on this Brewmaster, so perhaps they're able to take advantage of this. With the Manta Illusions and the Mask of Madness, they should be able to bring this down fairly quickly. Corrosive Breath also there from Keezer, and the call down will be popped. It's just a zoning one for the time being. However, they will disengage and re-engage here. The steal is there onto the Eclipse. Eknard is going to be able to pop it, but he'll drop before it's able to do anything significant. And this melee rack should be next to fall here. Keezer is going to get hit with a homing missile, and the Ice Blast will not land on anyone here. Spartan even able to dodge that. Dragon Tail from the backlines will pick off a bash. Krista's popped his BKB, but the physical damage is too much for him to deal with. And State 21 just going to be cycloned up into the ice path here. Will get hit with a Lucent Beam as well. Dragon Tail will be there to seal the deal, and that's GG. London Conspiracy 2-0 in the series with the 1 game in the winner's bracket advantage. They'll win this best of 5, and they are your SLTV Pro Series Season 11 champions.
Quite the sharp force coming out of them for that one. London Conspiracy, they impressed me this, and I reckon they could go on to take a couple more tournaments if they stick together and play.
Yeah, the synergy between the team looks really good. They distracted even me with that mid lane Rax push there, and so very well played from them. Space created after what was a pretty good start for Scary Faces, and I thought they might be able to take this to a game 4, but unfortunately for them, LC a little bit too much to overcome. We are SLTV, your English coverage. You can find me at MRP_Dota on Twitter, and you can find my co-caster at Mr_Blackadder. If you enjoyed the cast, also throw the stream a follow. Black, any last words on the series?
All I can say is I want to see more Dota at both these teams actually. London Conspiracy, they can go a lot further, I reckon, but Scary Faces, all they need to do is practice. Practice, practice, practice. It is all that you care about in Dota.
Yeah, they definitely do have some potential, and if you watched a few of their other series, they 2-0'd some pretty good teams in SLTV Pro Series 11, so their Pudge-Lina combo, definitely something fun to watch, and be sure to check out the VODs over at youtube.com/HeflaMoke at the top right of your screen. Thanks for joining us, guys. This has been HeflaTV. We'll have some more Dota 2 coverage tonight with the DAC. Also, we're covering the Bryden Open Cup every single day, so be sure to follow the stream and join us. Thanks so much for your support, guys. We'll see you. This is Mr. Blackadder and MoreRagePlz signing out.